Hello, listeners, and welcome to today's episode of our eCom Pulse podcast. I'm thrilled to have Katy Katz, a digital marketing expert with nearly 20 years of experience, joining us. Katy heads digital marketing and e-commerce at Basic Fun, a company known for its beloved toy brands like Care Bears, Tonka, and Littlest Pet Shop. In this episode, Katy shares her journey from starting in Facebook marketing for an art gallery to becoming a leader in e-commerce and digital marketing space. She discusses the challenges and opportunities of marketing in the toy industry, the evolution of digital marketing strategies, and the importance of data-driven decision-making. You'll hear about the critical role of combining organic and paid strategies on platforms like Amazon, the power of influencer marketing, and how to maintain a cohesive brand presence across multiple channels. Katy also offers insights into creating engaging customer experiences, the significance of internal marketing, and the necessity of continuous learning and adaptation in the fast-paced world of digital marketing. Whether you're a seasoned marketeer or just starting, this episode is packed with valuable takeaways that you won't want to miss. Let's dive in. Welcome to the eCom Pulse, your heartbeat to the world of e-commerce. I'm your host, Eitan Kotter. Join us as we meet with industry leaders, marketing experts, and the innovative minds behind the tech that is shaping the e-commerce future. So plug in, gear up, and get ready for a pulse-pounding journey into the heart of e-commerce. Hey, Katy, how are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I know you're going to have a lot of fun during this episode because you work for a company, right, in the toy space, toy industry, right? It's called Basic Fun. So I think it's going to be an exciting episode.
Yes. Actually, it's funny. My background usually is a bunch of toys, but I am recording from home today because it is so much fun in my office. We don't want to have interruptions.
So all this background, we can edit it later. You bring this, nice toys, and we put it in the background. So anyhow, you're here because you're such an expert in digital marketing, and you've been in the industry for so many years, and also within the e-commerce space, and you're heading digital marketing for Basic Fun. So for the audience and for the listeners who don't know you, let's start with probably a quick introduction about who you are and what are you working on Basic Fun.
Sure. So, I have been in digital marketing for almost 20 years, which is kind of wild to say out loud. My first job was in college doing Facebook marketing for an art gallery, right when they opened up Facebook to businesses. And so I kind of got hooked with digital marketing from that point and the data that you can use to make your decisions and the accuracy that's available. And then when e-commerce came around, it just took that to the next level. You don't lose all the attribution. So I am a data girl, love it, and it's followed me throughout my career. I've spent most of my career in agencies, and I've done quite a bit of speaking and writing on digital marketing and content optimization. And then for the last couple of years have been working in the toy industry for a toy company. And we have a lot of really fun brands, including Care Bears and Tonka, Light Bright, Littlest Pet Shop, lots of household names that everybody loves and knows.
Nice. So I see you sharing your background and experience, and you just keep smiling all along. So it's really exciting, and to see the energy and the passion for what you're doing. Why do you think marketing is such an exciting area, and why do you think you're so excited about it?
I've just always really been drawn to, things where you connect with people. And so I think that's one of the things that I really love about marketing is that there's that aspect of psychology and connection to it. And if you have an understanding of that, it really helps you take your marketing to the next level. And I've marketed everything in my career working for agencies. I had clients who were B2B, also B2C. I have a heavy emphasis in tech and software, but I've also marketed porta potty businesses and accountants. And so just kind of all over the place. And it all is kind of the same thing, but working in the toy industry has really been a lot of fun because I get to use a lot of those marketing skills, but work for something that I'm passionate about, which is play and children and just the joy of play.
So what are your observations from 20 years in the marketing industry? I mean, it looks like it's getting more and more complicated, right? I mean, there are all these siloed communities and you need to be specialized in each and every one of them. And the tech to support that. And now AI, I mean, it looks like it's a never-ending roller coaster of more complicated, markets, tasks, processes. It's not getting easier, right?
It's not. And the barrier to entry is getting a lot harder. So starting is really a big challenge. And I think the other thing that is really exemplified in the toy industry is that barrier to awareness marketing. 20 years ago, you could put a product on the shelf at Toys R Us and like run one TV commercial during kids shows and you're done. Your toy will be a huge success. That's all you had to do. And it is not the case anymore. And so it's across all industries. And we're all having to learn how to wear many hats and how to understand what resonates with our own customers and market.
Yes. So what has changed?
I think it's just all of the ways that consumers collect information, consume information, all of the ways that their attention is being drawn, and many times it's also us marketers have come up with so many ways to get in front of them that it's a combination of things. Like it's just information overload, right? And so you have to break through the noise.
Yes. So you're like 1P Amazon partner, right? So what are the different marketing activities that you are conducting?
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely we invest heavily in paid spend, pay-per-click advertising on Amazon.
On Amazon, yeah.
It makes a huge difference. And it's very interesting. I spent my earlier part of my career with Google optimization and made my way to Amazon. And with it very similar to how we used to see with Google, that organic and paid seem to go together hand in hand. You can't separate them. They really have to be married in their strategy. And the more strategic you are in each side of those, as you optimize your pages, they perform better for conversion. As you spend more in your ads, your traffic goes up, your engagement goes up, and then your organic rankings go up. So they really are partners.
Yes. And how do you see, I mean, we just listened to the latest, quarterly reports from Amazon, and they were like, crazy impressive, right? You see improvement on all aspects of the business, top line, bottom line. I mean, just the ad revenues, expecting growth of another 25 or 30%. So it's already on the 60 billion level very, very soon, right? It's unbelievable. And I hear a lot about difficulties in discoverability on the platform and it getting more difficult. And obviously commission, right? Amazon commission almost doubled. What are your thoughts on this? What are your feelings? I mean, in terms of ROAS and the success of these campaigns these days.
Yeah. I mean, Amazon is a beast. It is just going to keep growing. And we have e-commerce on several of our partners. So we also run e-commerce for Walmart and Target and other big partners where our products are available. And Amazon is just the winner when it comes to e-commerce efficiency. No other partner can compete with the return on ad spend that you can get. The overall performance of the campaigns and so it's hard, not to want to just funnel everything in that direction, which then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy too. But they're doing that intentionally, and it's working because when you invest in Amazon and it works, you're motivated to continue to invest. So for sure, I think that there is a ton of opportunity. The Amazon customer is trained and understands how e-commerce works. They like Amazon's system. They like they trust that they're going to get their product in 1 to 2 days, and that it's going to come preserved, and that Amazon will support them if there is an issue. And so there's a lot of trust that comes with that, and the sellers benefit from that trust that the consumer has.
Sure. And you mentioned the importance of inbound marketing, right? Versus, to make the paid media campaign a success, inbound strategy success is also very, very important. What are some of the things that you do on the inbound side to accelerate paid media success?
Yeah, and that is definitely, as an in-house marketer, one of my bigger challenges, because the Amazon ads perform so well, it's very easy for decision makers to want to put heavy amounts of budget in that direction and not invest as much in awareness, inbound strategies. And that's something I've come up against my whole career. I want the cash. I want the cash. Yeah. But the long-term strategies help you get the cash. And so we really do. Half my job is marketing internally to make sure we keep our awareness inbound strategies going, in addition to creating them and building them with the team. So we are all across the board, multi-channel, omni-channel marketing. So everything, when you think about toys, some of it is in-person pop-up surprise events. A lot of it's social media and digital advertising. Definitely TikTok has been a very important platform for us. And as TikTok has been growing and expanding their e-commerce capabilities, I think that's also a very interesting place to watch.
The TikTok shop, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. And how do you work there? You're using the influencers and
also our own channels, and driving consumer content creation to UGC.
Yes. Any special rules because it's like a kids products and toys, or?
It is very challenging with marketing to kids. So you cannot drive to a link where they can purchase to any kids under the age of 12. There's lots of rules and regulations around it, as there should be. I have 3 kids. I also do not want somebody sending my kids somewhere where they can spend all my money. But you want to get in front of kids and help them see what's available. And so there's lots of great ways where you can make it fun and exciting and engaging. But primarily when it comes to digital marketing, e-commerce, social advertising, anything along that, we're targeting the parents and marketing to the parents more than the kids themselves.
Yes. And as a first P Amazon partner, I know that it's very important to maintain and manage day-to-day the partnerships with Amazon, right? Like keeping those relationships intact and getting their feedback. So how this process is usually, work, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, it's interesting because there are a lot of benefits that come from being that 1P level partner. For sure, Amazon, I think, prioritizes you holding on to your buy box or some of those type of benefits. We can get FOB purchase orders, which is, of course, helps us out financially. But then there are other things that we don't have access to because we don't have Seller Central. So Vendor Central is actually more limited in what you can do from a marketing standpoint than Seller Central. And that has been a challenge for us that we've been a little bit up against. And I would love if that got adjusted somehow in the future and continue to evolve. But I do have jealousy sometimes when I see all the things that people get to do in Seller Central.
If any one of our listeners is from Amazon, please take note, right? Yeah, interesting. So, I know you have a very strong SEO and an optimization background, right? And I know it's a longer play. It's probably also relates to the amount of budget that you put in place. So it's like a big player's game, right? And what is it for you, let's say the optimization part of a website and customer journeys? So what's your thought process around this stuff?
I think it's incredibly important, having sort of been raised on Google optimization and inbound content strategies that are heavy in keyword research and just really making sure you have everything buttoned up in that side. That was very important to me when I came on to Basic Fun. And so we invested a lot of time in making sure our back end was really optimized. So going through and anything that Amazon would offer as a potential, can we optimize adding all the alt text, like all those little details, really thinking about the keywords. And we use Helium 10 for our keyword research. I know there's lots of tools that people like. We like that one. And just really like being meticulous about it. So going through and making sure our headlines are including the keywords that we want for awareness, discovery, because we have recognizable brands, we get a lot of benefit from that already. You know, like we kind of get, I've worked with a lot of startups, and it's nice kind of skipping that step with brand recognition for sure. And you get to go straight to optimization and testing and measuring. And so those strategies have helped us a lot. And now we're starting to look at things like, do we want to have stores for each of our brands? How should we divide that up? Do we want to think about particular marketing campaigns that we're running outside of Amazon and set up storefronts specifically for that campaign? Really taking some of these strategies to the next level for conversion optimization. And that's been really fun.
Yes, because you think that it's better to direct them probably to a landing page versus to the Amazon page, or
because it creates that kind of more unified customer experience. So if we're running a specific campaign where so for example, for Tonka, we're looking at doing a tough. How are you Tonka tough? What makes you Tonka tough? And really like emphasizing those things that are important about that brand and spreading those messages across social media, using it as a cohesive campaign, and then making sure that that messaging follows them throughout their journey. So much like you would with a website, having a customized landing page that's continuing that messaging and making it a unified experience for the customer.
Yes, and we talked about specialization. It seems like every of these different channels, we are definitely in a multi-channel type of environment. Every one of these channels is getting more and more specialized and more specific, right? And you plan to launch a campaign of a specific product, a new launch or whatever. How do you manage all these multi-channel activities? How do you make decision where to launch? I mean, because it's so complex, right?
It is. And, I think we have the benefit, luckily, of running a lot of brands at once. Yeah. And so we can kind of test and learn with some of them and then apply what we've learned to the rest of the rest of the brands when we have something that goes really well. Or on the flip side, if we test something out in one space and it doesn't go well, we know where to fix and pivot with others. So that's a huge benefit too of really it's funny because I spent my career in agency, and it's this big decision. Are you going to move in-house or stay in agency? And when I moved in-house, I realized I still am an agency. I'm just in an in-house agency because we have so many brands.
Yeah. But what would be like a success story or maybe a failure not a failure, but maybe data that you see that makes, okay, we let's take a different path here, right?
So kind of what I was talking about before with Storefronts was a big decision that we were looking at this past year. So historically, we had all of our brands in a Basic Fun storefront, and we collected everything into one place and thought that there'd be benefit in cross-sell and, creating that journey for customers. But then as we were working through it, we realized that limited us in our ability to optimize our targeting for brand, like in the store section of brand ads and other factors in that way. So we moved to setting up a Care Bears storefront and tested it with Care Bears first and saw our conversion for the storefront go through the roof.
Wow.
And so now we're rolling it out to all of our other brands. And so the benefit of the unique brand storefront outweighed the benefit of being able to cross-sell between the brands.
Interesting. You think this is something that is specific to the toy industry or to that specific niche, or is it something that other brands can relate?
I would bet that would be all brands, because once you can really establish a brand registry and make sure that you have that funnel fully set up, there is a lot of benefit to that. I think it would be different if you had maybe like some type of consumer product where there is a lot of more crossover, maybe apparel or something like that. But you'd maybe have to weigh it a little more closely, but I don't know. There is a lot of benefit to having that unique storefront.
Yes. Nice. And for you, when you look at the data and you analyze and try to get some insights out of it, what are the important, KPIs that you're looking for?
Well, definitely return on ad spend for ads is one of our top KPIs. But then we look at some of the other indicators that lead into that, such as the cost per click and the conversion rate. On-page conversion rate is really helpful for us from both an organic and paid perspective, just helping us understand if our pages need some work, if our pricing is on point, all of those type of things. So I would say those are kind of our top two, conversion rate and ROAS. But then, of course, traffic, all of the basics.
Yes. And I just want to go back to this topic of that you mentioned, that you're just splitting brands into different domains and specific journeys for each. Is it the steps that you're going to take not only on your own .com, but also on, for example, on your Amazon stores and Walmart and Target and all the others?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. We don't have the capacity to set up unique websites for each of our brands yet, I don't think, and I don't know that would help, because as a manufacturer, we don't send as much traffic to our website. A lot of our traffic is directed to our retail partners.
Yes.
So it kind of solves setting up the individual brand storefronts solves a lot of that problem. But we have gone to creating branded social media profiles for each of our brands, making sure that they each have their own voice, so to speak.
Yes. So what is your process today when you want to launch a new campaign? There are so many options right out there, and some of them are working for you and some of them are less effective. How do you analyze and how do you take decisions about what steps to put into this plan?
Well, speaking of how much I love data, one of the hard things about not owning or not having a direct-to-consumer e-commerce website is we do lose some of our data attribution.
Yes.
Amazon is better. They let you use attribution codes, but it's flawed. If it doesn't follow the user perfectly through their journey, and
yes, it's very difficult. Attribution is so difficult. Yeah,
it falls off. And with the other partners, we have none. So we've used some tools. We've been testing a tool called ChannelSight, which layers kind of over your data, and they integrate with a lot of our partners. They integrate with Walmart or Target or some of the big partners, and it allows us to get close to seeing like if it was our own website. And so that has helped us get some return on campaign data. So our organic campaigns are our off-channel whether it's social media or Google, YouTube campaigns actually driving sales. And so that has been helpful in our decision-making process. And then also just kind of looking at the data and trends of how our point of sale is doing. But we're seeing across the board, influencers still are just one of the top most efficient ways for us to spread our brands. Consumers already have, much like Amazon, where consumers trust Amazon to deliver the package, influencers spend a lot of time building up trust with their followers, with their audience, and getting that buy-in from them. So when they share something, their followers, have that trust established. And so it just kind of removes a little bit of a barrier, cuts some steps out of the process. So that still continues to be one of our top channel, like ways to get our message out.
How do you develop the scripting or, the campaign with influencers in the context of a B2B purchase eventually, right? So how is it working? Any specifics that you...
Oh, yeah. So I guess, I don't know if this answers your question. So we definitely think about that from the perspective of how they're marketing to consumers. But we do have to repackage that and show how we're investing in the brands, in our marketing efforts when we're going back to our partners to continue having them purchase wholesale or wanting to work with us. And that's a big competitive differentiator, especially in the entertainment space or any wholesale industry, is how a company is committed to marketing and the strategies that they're using. That makes a big difference to retail partners, because that shows that you're a true partner, that you're investing in the brands too, and that you're helping them move the product. I think that's something before I had worked in this side of business, I didn't understand as well. I thought Target, if you sold something to Target took it from there and handled all the marketing, and just sort of that was now in their hands. And that is not the case. Yes.
So you use influencer probably for brand awareness, and they might say, hey, go to the local Target, here is the coupon code or something like that, right? So you are supporting the local, your partners through these activities.
Yeah, and we're expected to, and that's part of the expectation, that we will own that side of it too. And so, and Target or Walmart, they expect that you are investing heavily in your brands.
Yes.
And driving that traffic for them.
Yeah, so there is an attribution code that maybe you can just close the loop and understand that's where this purchase actually came from.
Yes. Well, they don't necessarily always, Target won't necessarily always share that data back with you. But if you can find ways to get around it, yes.
Okay. Interesting. So, Katy, what do you think is the role of the CMO, the head of marketing, in e-commerce these days?
Oh boy, that's a big question. I think it really depends on the space you're in and the age of your business. And, if there's so many factors that influence that. In my case, it is really this multi-prong role. You have to be skilled and knowledgeable on your discipline, and stay up to date, because as we've kind of been talking about, e-commerce is changing so quickly and rapidly, as is social media. There's a new technology every day. So you have to keep up with that. Then you also have to be an internal marketer to your leadership team and be able to sell the strategies that you've gathered are the strongest ones. You also have to be a leader for your team and make sure that they're have everything that they need to be successful. So it's a lot of hats. You learn lots of ways to market.
Yes,
for sure.
Any change that you see during the last probably couple of years? Are we more focused on profitability?
Yes, I think with the increased attribution that e-commerce has offered, it's hard not to be drawn to the security of that, and seeing the clear return on your efforts. And so, absolutely, there's two kind of prong to that. One, it puts the emphasis on wanting to focus your budget on bottom of the funnel, like really truly conversion driving tactics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also given marketers the ability to really prove that investing in marketing has a result. Whereas in the past, I've found that, yes, everybody knows they have to do marketing. Like, it's sort of like, okay, this is, we have to do it. But this really, we now have the data to support that it's how important it is.
Yes, interesting. And Katy, for some of the other digital marketing leaders out there, what are some of the tips that you can share from your experience and background?
I think that always finding joy and learning is one of the best things that will help you as a marketer, because it is always rapidly changing and there is so much to know. Picking a vertical or a area that you really connect to, and then making sure that you continue to learn and grow with it. And I really I'm a big believer in also marketing events and like networking with people within the industry. Particularly if you're an in-house marketer, you become on an island a little bit, and it's so useful and beneficial to get out with other marketers, talk with other marketers, share strategies, just like listen to podcasts, just like yours, and continue educating yourself and connecting, because it is always changing. There's so much to know, but also it brings like a sense of validation to the work you're doing too, because when you're in a sea of people who have a lot of other functions in an in-house role, sometimes that can get lost. There's so many other priorities, and so connecting with other marketers can help you reestablish and reaffirm some of the things that are important.
And how do you do that? Is like going to exhibition, to conferences, or
Mm-hmm.
to be part of a community, right?
Yes. Local communities are great. They're like in all of the places I've lived, and I've moved around quite a bit in the US, we have a lot of local marketing communities. So AMA is a great big one, but there are also a lot of smaller organizations. I was part of a search community in Minnesota, in Texas, in Florida. I know that they're all over. And those are great ways to connect and meet people, find jobs, and also just continue educating yourself.
It also has a probably direct impact on the joy factor that you mentioned before, this is the first thing that you said, right?
Yes.
Joy first, then continuous learning.
Yeah.
Great, Katy. This is the part where you are going to share with us a fun fact about yourself. All right.
Fun fact about myself. Yes. Yeah. Well, one of the funny things that we do when someone starts at our toy company is to tell stories about our favorite toy growing up. And so many of the people I work with, favorite stories are some of the toy brands we work on. Wow. My Little Pony, Lite-Brite, Tonka. They're just such iconic and brands that is the case. But I actually was not a big toy person as a kid. Surprisingly, based on my joy of learning, I was a book person. So I don't have a lot. I didn't have that. But I have 3 kids, and I'm having so much fun as an adult reconnecting to toys and that side. So
nice, Katy. Thank you for sharing this. Anything else you want to add? Maybe.
Oh, goodness. I don't think I have anything else except thank you so much for having me on the show. I love talking about marketing, as you can see.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed, I've watched a few of the other episodes of your podcast when we first started talking. And so I just think it's really great what you're doing, and I'm blown away by the amount that you're recording. I also did a podcast a couple years ago and found, it's a lot of work to record a podcast, and the editing and the compilation. And I'm sure you have a team that helps, but it's impressive.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. It really was a pleasure to host you here. Thank you for all the great insights, and I wish you all the best.
You too.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Your support means the world to us. If today's episode has been insightful for you, consider sharing it with someone who would also benefit. Even one share can make a big difference. Looking to elevate your e-commerce game? Discover Vimy, a multi-channel e-commerce platform that will transform your business with the power of shoppable video. Visit us at vimy.net to learn more. It's Vimy, VIMMI.net. Thank you for being part of our journey. Stay tuned for more invaluable insights in our next episode.